In the Parramore community of Orlando, there are some areas where it's hard to find fresh fruits and vegetables. Major grocery stores are not located in the area. Areas like this are called food deserts. Today's guest is an urban farmer on a mission to make the Parramore community better by owning an urban farm. Meet Raymond Worthen, the urban farmer. Welcome to Legal Connections.
Morning. Well, thank you for having me. Yes.
I have never heard of an urban farm. What is an urban farm?
Well, urban farms, they're mainly based out of food deserts and people who are in need of food, and pretty much in an urban setting, typically in the black community. It's where you find a lot of urban farms who went through a lot of work to build urban farm as well. And it's pretty much a consolidated acres farm, and our farm is actually 0.3 acres. And urban farms still consist of standard farming measures as growing fruits, vegetables, trees, banana trees to help support the local community. So there are many urban farms throughout many cities, but we definitely changed. There are many community gardens throughout the urban cities. We're one of the first urban farms, and we bring a different aspect of all different types of growing, from raised bed growing, in-ground growing, greenhouse growing, many different aspects we bring upon the community and teach. And now, hopefully soon, knock on wood, aeroponic, vertical farming, we're looking to bring forward towards the end of this year.
Pretty fascinating. What has been the community reaction to what?
The community reaction, well, I loved it. The first starting out was tough because people looked like, whoa, who are these people? What's going on? They don't live here. They're not from here. But after you put so many hours of dedication and hard work into the community, I'll be honest, it's not kind of on the rough side of town, so many people were afraid of like, wow, why are you going over there? This is kind of rough over there. I said, well, I come from a neighborhood just as rough, from Palm Beach County. I'm from Riviera Beach. And Riviera Beach is a tough town, so I'm used to the environment, used to the people. But the community responded greatly, especially during COVID-19, when the reality of the food desert hit, when the city was under curfew, and there was no food, and a lot of the kids were out of school. And for some of those communities, the average income is $17,000 a year per household. And the only meals these kids got were in school. But when school was out, there's no more meals. And when the pandemic hit, our farm rose to the height of the demand. And we were handing out garbage bag size of collard greens and mustards. And I handed Miss Gladys, I call her Miss Gladys, so she has another name, when he's her name. Miss Gladys McWilliams, they saw me handing out trash bags of produce. And he's like, yeah, y'all got some mustard greens over there? I said, yes, ma'am, I do. Come on and get them. So, and the collard greens expanded, and we're growing now over 500 pounds of produce out of a 0.3 acre farm. It's a lot of engineering, a lot of planning, a lot of design that goes into it. It's not easy, but that's the definition of what we brought to the urban farm, which changes the landscape of the community.
You mentioned a few minutes ago that people were like, who are these people? They're not. And who are these people? Tell me about Infinite Zion Farms.
Infinite Zion Farms is actually a merger of two organizations, because our core name is Zion Farms and Market. And the gentleman, he's actually working overseas in Ghana, Africa now. Our master gardener is Mr. Sharif Sabaz. He's from Infinite Roots Farm. So our corporations merged to create Infinite Zion Farms. His mission was to go overseas and help the people over in Ghana, Africa, to build farms and resources there. And he felt bad for it. I said, no, I encourage you, go. You're young enough. So he's actually overseas now. We send produce and, not produce, equipment for him to build. He just purchased 5 acres from the elders, because over there you have to get permission to purchase farmland in Africa. So our extension of us extends all the way back to the motherland. So that's what Infinite Zion Farms was for myself and my wife. This idea came out of the concept of, I lost my father to prostate cancer at age 59. And that's way too young to lose anyone. Him and my mom were married 38 years before he passed. And one thing I learned in engineering is energies need the laws to destroy it. It's transferred from one thing to the next. So out of my father's death, I absorbed his spirit, everything he couldn't do, everything he wanted to do. And it's like a small, eco-friendly nuclear power plant that burns inside of me now. And that's where the people are like, how do you get so much energy to do this? You got a wife, you have a regular job, you have a farm, you're working out there 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And that passion started actually in Apopka. So we came from the sands of Apopka, Florida. And we realized that demand was much more needed in the city as well, and more accessibility for the community at large. And we moved in Apopka to a vacant land. There was nothing out there. So to build South Street Urban Farm, we had to move over 25 tons of dirt and rock. And I sent the city receipts because this is on city-owned property through Daniel Freeline, Regina Hill, shout out to them. And Evan Nutrition were the ones that convinced us to say, hey, you know what? Let's come in here and make this happen. So that a major, they're the reason why we're there. Evan Nutrition was brought us to the table to the city of Orlando because they saw the work we did out in the Popka. But 25 tons later, I had to build two 13,000-pound foundations for shipping containers to sit on. And we kept building and building and building and building. And we're now one of the first organizations to complete the CSA program, Community Supported Agriculture Program. In the 6 years, the city of Orlando has been launched, since they launched the pilot, we're the first organization to actually complete the CSA program. And we have a new CSA program starting up this November that's also going to be meal-based. It's no longer just produce-based.
Wow.
So, yes. Yes. But,
wow. Well, thank you so much for everything you're doing for the community. It's certainly inspiring to hear, and just what a blessing to all the families that are benefiting from that. And it's good to see and hear about your programs. It's good to see you and hear about the work that you're doing.
The mother part of my wife, she's not here. She's a city girl. She's Brooklyn, New York. Her and her whole family, she came out and joined me on the farm as well. So I'm very proud of her. So
no, that's
she's
impressive.
taking a small break from the farming life to come into. She's handling more the director and marketing aspect of the farm now. So
teamwork, teamwork. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us about Infinite Zion Farms and the work you're doing in Parramore. Thank you.
Definitely, absolutely.
Wow, good quality food is needed everywhere. Urban farms are a very important addition to communities that were once called food deserts.